Talking Penn State football, Mike Gross. First of all, what's up with Terry Bouton's hair? he had orange-looking hair. The man had black hair his whole life.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Akron head coach.
I don't know what's going on there.
You know, what I noticed was Akron has a very experienced coaching staff. Penn State had a very experienced staff with Central Florida, and I think that played a factor in why this game was close for so long. When I see the defensive coordinator from Akron is the guy who used to be at Florida State, and the head coach is
Chuck D'Amato. Yeah,
D'Amato. I'm seeing some experience out there, and he was playing some chess moves.
Yeah, I think both teams at Penn State have played so far have been well coached teams. Akron defended the pass covered really well, I thought, which is one thing that Central Florida did not do with a veteran returning defense. Central Florida did tackle well. I mean, they were a well-drilled defense, but for some reason they weren't prepared to deal with what Penn State can do and Christian Hackenberg can do in the pass game.
So what's up with the play calls? People have been questioning. They start to move the offense, then you see some trickery out there, some gimmicks. Is this what we're going to expect all year? What do you think's going on?
I think it's a constant process of trying to work around the fact that they don't believe in their offensive line, and they're just trying to get their offensive line better. They're trying to get them confidence. I mean, even Hackenberg, who never, and I don't mean this is too much of a criticism, but he never says anything. He it's just very stock answers to all the questions. He admitted, hey, it's all about trying to get this offensive line, baby steps, get them some confidence. That's what they're doing. I think some of the things that they're doing look like gimmicky for gimmicky's sake a little bit, and certain key situations, key down and distance situations, I think that's blown up on them a little bit. If you can't run the ball, you constantly find yourself in bad down and distance situations, and that's not easy. That's not easy to deal with as a schemer and a play caller. And I do think that a lot of people have talked about this wildcat offense. I do think that
what do you think of that?
When they got to the fourth quarter, and you're playing against the clock almost as much as you're playing against the other team. I do think that they kind of turned the game in their favor and wore Akron out a little bit late in the game. And I do think the Wildcat played a role in that. And Akeel Lynch in particular, I thought, ran the ball pretty effectively in that system.
As you said in one of your articles, and I agree, if the Wildcat gets Akeel Lynch on the field, I'm all for it. I don't want to see Zach Swinak running the Wildcat. He needs to have momentum ahead of time. But I also thought late in the game, when I agree with you, that it seemed like the momentum was favoring it. Essentially, Akron was wearing down a little bit. Why don't you run the ball now? Why don't you get that offensive line some confidence running the ball? And they were throwing it. I just didn't get it.
Well, they did. I thought they ran it at times in the Wildcat effectively enough that I thought the last touchdown was kind of a play action thing, which means that the Akron is at least paying some attention to the run, and maybe it was still a little bit of Ireland hangover. I think that was a tough situation. So I mean, it was not a great performance by Penn State. Give the opponent a little bit of credit, but not a disaster.
They don't have an ideal situation this weekend either. 8 o'clock game in New Jersey. Rutgers is playing that team from Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Is that what Rutgers is calling Penn
Actually,
State now?
our own Gordy Jones was on the Big Ten call with Rutgers coach, and he referred to them as our neighbors to the west earlier today.
Yes.
So there's a little bit of juice here. I think this is a pretty natural rivalry. Rutgers has long felt overshadowed, not only on the field but in recruiting. There's a lot of history between these two teams, and now they're playing in a league game. It's Rutgers' first Big Ten game ever. It's at night. Interesting.
Akron played Howard 2 weeks ago. It's 140-0. Rutgers played Howard last week and won 38-25. I'm looking at that a little bit going, Rutgers' defense must not be that good. They gave up 25 points to Howard, and Akron shut them out. So I'm curious with.
Well, I agree with that. I think Rutgers struggles defensively. I think Penn State's going to be able to throw the ball against them. I think it's that simple. A lot can go wrong here. The betting line is only 3.5 in favor of Penn State. Rutgers has a veteran senior quarterback who's been really efficient and really good so far, and they have some players. I don't think this is easy. If Hackenberg throws it to the other team early, things could go wrong here, especially you can't run the ball. You're having trouble moving the chains on the ground, so things could go wrong. But I do think that Penn State is going to be able to score against Rutgers.